All right, so today we're diving deep into one of literature's most enigmatic characters.
Oh, this will be good.
Yeah, Dostoevsky's The Idiot, using those excerpts you sent in.
It's a fascinating book.
Definitely, though, Dostoevsky can be a bit dense,
Oh, yeah.
but I promise the insights are worth it.
Absolutely.
So what's so unique about The Idiot? What makes it special?
Well, it really challenges our ideas about
Yeah.
intelligence and goodness. You know?
Okay, I'm listening.
Dostoevsky gives us Prince Myshkin, this guy everyone calls an idiot.
Right.
But he's incredibly empathetic, morally clear, like way more than most people.
So is Dostoevsky saying society's definition of smart is wrong?
That's the question, right? Like, what if the idiot sees things more clearly?
And the excerpts, they describe his look so strangely.
It's striking, right?
Yeah, malicious smile, but high, well-formed forehead, like conflicting.
Like Dostoevsky is saying, look closer, there's more to him.
Definitely mysterious.
Yeah, that smile, what does it mean? Hidden smarts, irony, something darker.
It makes you wonder.
Definitely makes you think.
And then there's his epilepsy, right? Mentioned in the excerpts.
Yeah, epilepsy, back then, people saw it almost as mystical, even demonic sometimes.
So by giving it to the prince.
Dostoevsky adds another layer, right?
Hmm.
Is he touched by something beyond us?
It makes his strong reaction to that execution even more interesting.
Absolutely, the excerpts mention that, right? Seeing the execution, totally against capital punishment.
Yeah, like he's extra sensitive to the value of life.
Deep reverence for life, definitely.
So this idiocy label, maybe society just misjudges him, like we were saying earlier.
Could be, right. Failing to see his unique perspective.
And his childhood spent with children in the excerpts, it says.
Oh, that's key.
Yeah, like it shapes his worldview, childlike wonder, believing in people's good sides.
Which clashes so hard with the adults in the book.
Right. Like he's a mirror showing everyone how messed up they are.
Powerful stuff.
And speaking of messed up, Nastasha Filipovna, wow.
She's something else.
The excerpts make her both captivating and deeply troubled.
Yeah, she's clearly been exploited, used by men like Trotsky.
Yeah, beauty and wealth. But they've become a curse.
Makes her a target, but she fights back, refuses to be controlled.
Oh, that scene at her birthday party, throwing Rogojin's money in the fire.
Intense, right.
Super powerful.
It's like she's rejecting all that material stuff, that power it represents.
But also punishing herself.
Yeah, there's a deep inner conflict there. A cry for help, almost.
Relatable, though, right? Like, we all feel that pull between society's expectations and what we truly want.
Definitely. Dostoevsky makes these larger-than-life figures so human, you know?
Makes us look at our own vulnerabilities, our own compromises.
Exactly.
And then, boom, she decides to marry Ganya.
Out of nowhere, right.
The prince begs her not to.
But she does it anyway.
What's driving her, do you think?
It's complicated, but maybe she sees Ganya as an escape route, freedom from Trotsky.
Or maybe she's drawn to his ambition, wanting that for herself.
It's possible.
But it seems like a recipe for disaster.
Tragically, that's Nastasia. Always searching for love, but choosing paths leading to more pain.
So here we have our love triangle forming.
Oh, yeah, this is where it gets good.
The prince, drawn to Nastasia's suffering.
Right.
Aglaya, intrigued by the prince's innocence. And then there's Rogojin, burning with jealousy.
Consumed by it.
These relationships are so intense.
Dostoevsky is a master at that, weaving these desires, hidden motives together.
And those unintended consequences always lurking around the corner.
It's brilliant, really.
And Rogojin, man, that confession he makes to the prince, chillin'.
Yeah, about his love for Nastasia.
Yeah.
And that he'd kill the prince.
It's terrifying, but also kind of sad. Like, he needs someone to understand him.
He's lost in this obsession. Possessive love, it's all-consuming.
So innocence versus darkness embodied in the prince and Rogojin.
And that tension, that feeling something's going to snap.
Exactly, like a powder keg ready to explode.
Which Dostoevsky is so good at, building that suspense slowly.
And sometimes he uses these seemingly random events or characters to do it.
Right, but on closer inspection, they reveal so much.
Like Hippolyte, obsessed with death.
Oh, yeah.
Remember that dream he has about the fly? Perfectly in harmony with the world.
While he feels like a total outcast.
Such a powerful image of his despair.
He's searching for meaning, for validation, but can't find it.
And that confession he reads, wow.
Rambling, philosophical, but you see the intelligence there.
Totally, and the desperation, but also so much self-pity.
Like he's trapped in his own head, missing the beauty around him.
And his suicide attempt when the gun misfires, tragic and almost funny.
Like even death is rejecting him, adding to his isolation.
Such a contrast with the prince, right? One full of despair, one clinging to hope.
Two sides of the same coin, maybe?
And Nastasia, she's the center of it all. That choice to run off with Rogozhin at the Epanchins.
Oh man, that's chaos unleashed.
Aglaya humiliated, Evgeny Pavlovich exposed, Nastasia throwing herself away.
It's heartbreaking.
Well, why'd she do it? Deliberate self-sabotage.
It's like she can't believe she deserves happiness, so she embraces the darkness.
Drawn to Rogozhin's possessiveness, like she wants to be punished.
It's tragic, really, to watch her destroy herself.
And the fallout, Aglaya rebelling, the prince heartbroken, Rogozhin spiraling further.
Everyone gets caught in the crossfire.
But even then, there's glimmers of hope. Ganya caring for Kolya, Lebedev with his daughters.
Dostoevsky shows us that even in the darkest places, humanity flickers.
Man, these excerpts have been intense.
Yeah, they really pull you in.
I need to know what happens next. Will anyone find peace?
Those are the questions that'll keep you up at night.
So, on to the climax of The Idiot next time.
We'll untangle it all, or at least try to.
Part 2, coming soon.
Can't wait. Welcome back to our deep dive into The Idiot. We really got into those first impressions of Myshkin, Nastasia, and their messy relationships last time.
Oh yeah, those excerpts were packed with juicy details. Classic Dostoevsky mind games.
Well, absolutely, but now things get really interesting. The characters evolve, relationships shift.
I'm all ears. What do these new excerpts show us?
Well, Dostoevsky, he's a master at using little details to foreshadow big stuff, to show you what's hidden inside a character.
Ooh, examples. I love specifics.
Okay, remember the scene at the band concert in Pavlovsk?
With Aglaya and the prince.
Yes. She flirts with that young officer right in front of him.
Seemed kind of childish, jealous maybe.
On the surface, sure, but I think it shows a conflict within Aglaya herself.
Oh, interesting. Go on.
She's drawn to the prince's purity, but also kind of repelled by it,
Well, like it's both attractive and a turnoff.
Exactly. Aglaya, she's stuck between the ideal world Myshkin represents and the harsh Russian reality.
Makes sense. She's smart, strong, but conflicted about him.
Right. She loves his genuineness, but fears he's too naive for the world.
It's like she's testing him. Can his goodness survive out here?
Exactly. And this plays out more in that poor night thing, remember?
Oh, yeah, where she's using that romantic idea to tease him, but also challenge him.
She wants him to be that chivalrous figure, but is he up to it?
Dostoevsky's so good at that. Love and sacrifice all tangled up.
No easy answers with him.
And speaking of complicated, Rogozhin's jealousy is just getting worse, right?
Oh, yeah. With Nastasia, it's like a runaway train.
That scene where he shows the prince the knife. Yikes.
Chilling. Right. Like he's losing control.
But the prince, he's not scared. He tries to talk Rogozhin down.
Amazing scene. Shows Myshkin's unwavering belief in redemption, even for someone like Rogozhin.
He sees the good in everyone, even potential murderers.
It's risky though, right? Like, is he tempting fate?
As a reader, I was like, dude, run. But also touched by his compassion.
Dostoevsky is a master of suspense, that feeling of doom hanging over everything.
And he does it through these side stories, like almost distractions.
Right, but they always end up telling us more about the main characters.
Like Hippolyte, with his death obsession.
Ah, yes, Hippolyte.
That dream about the fly, content in the sunlight, while he feels so alienated.
Perfect metaphor for his despair, right?
Totally. He's trapped looking for meaning, but finds only emptiness.
And his confession. Wow, what a ride.
Rambling, philosophical, but you feel his intelligence, his need to be heard.
This brick, yeah, but so self-pitying, too.
Like he's blind to the good stuff because he's so focused on his own misery.
And that botched suicide, almost comical.
The gun misfiring, it's like even death doesn't want him.
Adds to his isolation, his sense of failure.
Such a contrast to the prince, one all gloom, the other clinging to hope.
Two sides of humanity, maybe.
And then Nastasia, at the center of this storm, she runs off with Rogozhin.
At the Epanchins gathering, total chaos.
Aglaya humiliated, Evgeny Pavlovich's secrets out, Nastasia destroying everything.
It's a whirlwind.
But why? Is she trying to hurt everyone, including herself?
I think it's deeper. She can't accept love. She feels unworthy.
Like she has to punish herself.
Drawn to Rogozhin's darkness, like it confirms her self-image.
Tragic, really, this self-fulfilling prophecy of pain.
And the fallout is huge. Everyone's world shaken.
But there are still these little lights, Ganya helping his brother, Lebedev, with his daughters.
Dostoevsky reminds us, even in the darkest moments, there's kindness.
These excerpts, they're like an emotional roller coaster.
Oh, they grab you and don't let go.
So where do we go from here? What's the final act?
Ah, that's where the real drama explodes, the climax of The Idiot.
I can't wait. On to part 3. Man, that last part, Aglaya confronting the prince, Nastasia running off with Rogozhin.
Intense, right.
It's like Dostoevsky's dialing up the tension with every scene, so what happens next?
The final part of The Idiot, it's a whirlwind, all leading to this tragic ending.
Okay, but remind me. We left off with the prince in a tough spot. Aglaya wants a commitment, but he feels for Nastasia.
Exactly, an impossible choice.
And it all goes down at the Epanchins, high society, so much pressure.
Dostoevsky loves using settings to reflect what's going on inside his characters.
Right, so the Epanchins' house, all about appearances, it's suffocating, emotions are hidden.
And then Nastasia arrives, boom, everything explodes.
Total self-destruction, humiliating Aglaya, revealing Evgeny Pavlovich's secrets, then choosing Rogozhin.
It's like she's deliberately causing pain to everyone, but mostly herself.
Maybe she can't believe she deserves happiness, so she goes for the opposite.
Her past, all that exploitation, it's like she can't break free from that cycle of pain.
So she picks a path that leads to her own destruction.
Sadly, yeah.
Rogozhin, he takes her to his dark house in Petersburg. The excerpts, you can feel it's going to end badly.
Their relationship, it's toxic, fueled by jealousy, possessiveness.
Rogozhin's love, it's twisted, more about control than actual affection.
He sees Nastasia as this object to be worshipped, protected, but ultimately owned.
And then the murder scene, horrifying, but also I felt for Rogozhin.
Dostoevsky doesn't hold back, but he shows Rogozhin's grief to the realization of what he's done.
It's complex. Rogozhin thinks he's saving Nastasia from the world, from being used.
But it's madness, obsession taken to the extreme.
And the prince, he just shows up at Rogozhin's, finds them.
Drawn by some unseen force, right?
To that awful scene, Nastasia's dead, Rogozhin with her, such a powerful image.
It's pure sorrow. And I think it breaks the prince a little.
Yeah, he always believed in the good in people, but this is the darkest side of humanity.
It shatters his illusions.
And the ending, the prince regresses, almost childlike again, can't process the horror.
It leaves you uneasy, right?
Yeah.
Like, what was the point of it all?
The Idiot, it doesn't give you easy answers, does it?
It makes you face the messy reality of human nature, how we're capable of such love and such cruelty.
This deep dive, it's given me a new understanding of the book, but also so many more questions.
That's Dostoevsky's genius. He doesn't wrap things up neatly. He wants us to think.
To wrestle with these big questions about life, love, suffering.
Find our own meaning in it all.
He certainly gives us a lot to chew on.
The Idiot. It sticks with you. It's a masterpiece, still relevant today.
Shows how powerful literature can be, exploring the human condition.
In all its messiness, contradictions, yeah.
Well, that's our deep dive into The Idiot. We've covered so much.
We have.
But I hope it inspires you to read the book, discover its depths yourself.
Absolutely. And remember, it rewards rereading. You'll see new things each time.
Thanks for being with us on this journey. Until next time, keep exploring, keep thinking.
Keep those minds engaged.
And we'll see you on the next deep dive.